Alrighty then, people. Let's do math. Notes out. Notes out, notes out, notes out. I mean, you can continue this way if you want. Remember, you can... Remember that you may continue notes off the previous page, but homeworks need their own pages. Remember, each homework gets its own page. Yeah.
My sticker broke.
Your sticker broke?
Yeah, my sticker that me and Natalie begged you for.
I didn't know that stickers could break, but I'm very sorry.
Mine got
Alright. So, my goal with today would be that we kind of zip through this lesson somewhat quickly, and then you guys have time to work on homework and or get ahead on tomorrow's homework. So that's my goal. So we are subtracting probabilities, but also that is just subtracting fractions. So if you want to name it subtracting fractions, that too would be accurate. More fraction action, exactly.
Fraction Jackson.
No, when I capture it, does that. Oh, general announcement. I will not be here on Friday. Thanks, I feel lucky. I will not. The more I have to push you guys, the more I'm happy that I won't be here. So, to be straightforward with you guys, I am taking a personal day, which is a day that you can take without being sick or whatever else, because it's my wife's last day off before she starts her new job. So we're gonna go out to lunch together and spend the day together. We were gonna go down to the Cincinnati Aquarium, but she actually has an appointment that day, and we can't go that far away. But yeah, so you will have a substitute. I believe Mr. Smith will probably still be in here as well, but we are taking a mastery on Friday. I will show you that mastery tomorrow. I will show you everything that's on it. If you have done your homework and paid attention to learn those skills, you're fine. 100% fine. If you have not really done your homework, actually, might be a little iffy.
I've done my homework every single day.
Nice. That is where you should be. So good, but keep it up.
And that's not what I did in 6th grade.
That's not what you did in 6th grade.
That's not what I did very lazy and I procrastinated a lot. Same.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are establishing some new, better work
If you talk to
habits.
Miss Freer, she would have so many stories.
Yeah. All right, so what we've been doing recently is a lot of adding fractions, right? But what we started discussing yesterday was subtracting in probability when we talk about the entire thing, like the entire spinner, the entire bag of marbles, the entire whatever. We start there and we take away something to figure out other portions. So some of the stuff we're going to talk about today is how can probabilities be combined, like addition, subtraction, what skills do we need to use, and how can the answer be written in a different form, like equivalent fractions. Jalen, are you okay?
She's a baby.
You're what? You're decent? Okay. So, Eustace is adding these fractions and he makes a goof. It's okay, Eustace, we're here to help you.
I know he did.
So, please write in your notes 1/2 plus 2/4 and talk as a group how Eustace should have added these together because his answer is not right. Talk with each other. Eva, what do we need before we can add or subtract fractions?
Common denominator.
Notice how I said Eva directly in the question. A common denominator, thank you, Eva. So what here could we turn the denominator into? Fourths, right? So I can over here, and it doesn't matter if I show the multiplication on the left or the right of the numbers, because order doesn't matter. And we get 2/4, because that's a half, plus, 2/4.
Oh my God.
What is 4/4? 1. Now, when we talk about probability, 1 is every outcome possible, right? Because 1 is 100%. Over here, I have a poster that I keep forgetting to talk about. During AO extensions or at the end of class if we have time, if you want to add situations here, I have the whole range of probability there, right? From 0 to 1. It's not very far. So 0, as we talked when we first started talking probability, is impossible, no chance. So I wrote there, grow wings and fly home. Right? Like, I think that's probably impossible. Weak chance. Weak chance. Anywhere from like 0 up to close to a half. Mr. Hudson becomes a famous YouTuber. Right? That's a weak chance. Might happen, but probably not. 50-50. Flipping a coin. Easiest thing we normally talk about with 50-50 is flipping a coin. Strong chance. I'd post a video on class, or post a video on YouTube of class. That's a very strong chance, because I pretty much do that every day. And certain. The sun will come up. Tomorrow. So, I know that was the joke. Like, it had like that tomorrow.
We're doing Annie as our client. That's why it's
nice.
Yeah.
We've all seen my sister. All right. New challenge. So I'm going to capture this. We have a bag of Tutti Frutti Chews. Oh, we have a bag of Tutti Frutti Chews. Now, we know that when we reach in the bag, the chance of killer kiwi, that sounds dangerous, is 1/3. The chance of crazy coconut is 3/5. What is the combined chance that we will get either of those? The or situation. So talk with your team, take a couple minutes, figure out the or situation, and then, hold on, once you get the or situation, because some of you will get there very fast, does there need to be another flavor in the bag? Like, do we know that there's going to be another flavor, or is it just coconut and kiwi? And if there's another flavor, what is the probability of that other flavor? And then, what are the potential total amounts of candy in the bag? So try those 3 questions. Have at it. Between 3 and 5, what's our common denominator? 15. We can snack, but only if we're writing the work. You can run and grab it right now.
I do not understand.
Can somebody help you? So you know what would help? If you first wrote down the original of what we're doing. So, I'm going to pick on Ava for a second. Ava said, I don't know what I'm doing. And I looked at her paper, and what she had was over 15, over 15. I beg of you to please trust me that it will make your life easier if you write down the originals first, and then you try to modify things. So we should all write down 1/3 plus 3/5 first, then convert to the common denominators. So then that becomes, I'm going to use this space, but I'm not doing B or C. I'm still doing A.
I know it.
So if we make this 15, I show multiplying by 5 over 5, multiplying by 3 over 3. So I get 5 fifteenths, 9 fifteenths, 14 fifteenths. Right? So that is the OR. So pretty strong chance. Question?
No, I know the answer is
Alright, I'll take it down using card. So B. Bless you.
playing pineapple.
So, Hank, because you can't articulate the question, you have to hang on for a second. Alright, so, sorry, Layla already asked to do the answer. So for B, B says, is there another flavor aside from coconut and kiwi? What do you think, Layla?
Yes, because we only have 14/15, so there's a 1/15 chance to get another candy.
Yeah, because we see 14/15 for these two, there's another candy that the probability is 1/15. Now, does that mean, and we'll do Alana because your card is up, does that mean that there's only one of the other keys?
No.
That didn't work very well. Yeah, I was trying to direct that to Alana. But okay, so everyone said that out loud. I'll take hands on this then. Give me a hand of who can justify how many candies there could be in the bag. Sky? So we could have 15, right? There could be one not coconut or kiwi. Or, Sky said, any multiple of 15. Because the probability, that bottom number tells you the total, quote unquote, but it could be reduced. Remember, this doesn't mean there's actually 14 and actually, it means that's the probability. There could be any multiple of that because of equivalent fractions. Does that make sense? Questions on that? Yes.
Okay, so what I wasn't understanding, because I thought that the 9 was a 6. But I don't know why. I just thought it was a 6.
Sorry.
I got it.
All right, so move on to 32. Lyle wanted a challenge, right? So his teacher tells him, all right, when you reach into this bag, your chance of drawing a red marble is 2 sevens. Your chance or probability of drawing a blue marble or a red marble is 2/3. So knowing that information, what is the chance of just blue? If you know the chance of the or, you know the chance of the red, what's the chance of just blue? Talk with your team and see how could we solve that problem. If you want some ideas, there are some ideas there for you. I don't necessarily like to show you those first, but like Myra and Vanessa and Darren had a couple different ideas there.
We know we have to get common denominator. Okay, I know it. That's 21. Sorry. But I'm not going to write down the original problem. Okay. It's September. No, because you should be giving every day. Not just like always yesterday.
We're thinking over here. What? No work.
No. Bell but ring.
Where's our work?
We're going.
Okay, so my concern is I don't see the work to support how many's out there. And is that a 7 or a 1? Not very good. I would advise that you don't know that the bottom on it.
Oh, yeah, that's
So, especially on your tests or things like that, show me how you do the common denominator. So, if that's what that is, why are we adding? Like, why do you have those? So, Layla's got different routes than Greta. We should discuss. Okay, so we rewrote them as common denominators. Let's make sure we all understand this. She has given you the probability of red is 2 seconds. The probability of red or blue is 2/3. We want to get just blue. If I'm looking at red and blue, how do I get just blue? Yeah.
You can times 3 on 2.
Can I please have May Waterford to the office? May?
If you times 2 thirds times 7 over 7, and then you'd get 14 over 21, and then you can minus 2 sevenths to get blue.
So, I want to take out the math from your statement. You're right. But if I have blue and red, guys, that 2/3 blue and red, if I want just blue, take away red.
Whoa.
So, exactly what we're getting told to do, just subtract. You added here, that's the wrong thing. We want to subtract. So, first common denominators, right? So 21, we got to get to 21 on the bottom. So here, we got told times 3, that becomes 6 over 21. Over here, we're going to do times 7, and we get 14 over 21. That is either, right? The 14 over 21, that's the chance of either red or blue. Okay? Yeah, so, okay, go ahead.
And then we subtract 6 24. And then we got 8 24.
So what we're doing, if you want to write it out, we took the P of either, the probability of either. We're subtracting the probability of red, and that gets us the probability of just blue, which is 8/21. Please make sure we have that work. As I walked around, a lot of us didn't. A lot of us didn't have that work as I walked around. Now, I will tell you, there is not a problem like this on your test. However, there is a problem where you have to figure out the OR probability. So, if we wanted to take this backwards, if we knew that blue was 8/21, and we knew that red was 6/21, to find the probability of either of them, we just add them to get that 14/21. So remember that for the test. You're going to need to find an OR, but we're not going to work it like this yet. We'll probably do that in chapter 2. Like on that test. All right. There is one like this. I don't think it has so many sections, but there is a problem where you have to complete the spinner on the test. So if we have 1/3, 1/6, and 2/5 in Luis's spinner there, I need your groups to work. Now, I will tell you there are multiple strategies here, some easier than the others. I need your group to decide what strategy are you going to take and find out the missing section. If you get done with 33, if you get done with 133, move on to 134. Same thing. I'll give you a few minutes. 5. What's your common denominator? 30.
First, I have to find out what is so there's one factor.
Sorry, I'm more concerned about even having nothing written down.
I don't have anything written down either. So we have one. Huh? We have to add it all together. So wait, no, there's 4 sides.
Sophia, somewhat loudly, said we need to add it all together.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, we gotta add it all together, dude.
Answer. So I need some help. Before we get to the answer point, I'll just take general class answers. 1/3 turns into how many 30ths? 10. Oh, general class answers. You can just say it. What about 1/6? 5, because we multiply by 5. 2/5 becomes 12. So I like when we all, yeah, because we go times 6, right? So times 6 on bottom, times 6 on top.
3 over 3.
I like when we all participate, but I don't like the random noises or singing or whatever. You just came from choir if you're a singer. So Sophia said we got to add them all together. If I have 10, 12, and 5, what is that all added together? 27 30ths. So to figure out the missing section, right, we start with 1. Sorry, not 33. We start with 1 or 30 over 30, and we take away the 27. So we get 3 over 30.
What?
Or 1/10. Questions. I want questions if we got them, Riley. Okay, that's not a question. Aiden?
How did you get 12? Sorry, can you say that again?
You're good. So here we had to multiply by 10, right, to get that 30. Here we had to multiply by 5. Here we have to multiply by 6 to turn 5 into 30. So 2 times 6, don't apologize. That's how we get our 12 lid. In 134, we have 4s, 8, 3. What's our common denominator going to be with 4s, 8, and 3? Not 12. 24. Try this if you have not done it. Do this. Hang on to it for a moment. Do this one if you haven't done it. I think a lot of us still need to, based on the work that I saw.
What? Are you talking? Are you like a dog? What?
If you need help, stick up a hand.
Oh, what are we doing again?
How did you do the next page?
Oh, it's the same thing.
So we said we know the 10, the 5, and the 12. 30ths. Those all together make 27 30ths, leaving us with 30ths left. So the entire square has to be 1. And to get 1 with a denominator of 30, we have to have the same number on top as we have on bottom. And that will be 30. Yeah, that'll get you. Hey guys, I hear people like telling stories. That is not the point. Or shh, stop. Why would you think it's appropriate when a teacher's talking to just interrupt them and talk over them? So I'm like at a loss because I've had multiple like stern conversations with you guys, and like I love it that you want to engage with each other, and like I love our class. Our 7th grade class seems like a really good group of people. But you're really making my job hard because I want to give you time to work, but I give you time to work and then you're like telling a story about shoes or something. Like that's not appropriate. So like I just pulled that out of nowhere, right? I'm just making stuff up. But seriously, some of you can't stay on task. And you, as a teammate to somebody who's trying to be off task, you owe it to them to keep them on task. Like, it's rude to let your classmates waste their class time, right? That's not okay. That's not cool. So if your teammate is trying to waste your class time, like, they don't have the right to waste your class time. This is your class time. Later on in your life, you'll realize education's worth money, right? If somebody else is wasting your time, like, in the classroom, they're stealing from you. If somebody is wasting your time in a classroom, in any educational setting, they are robbing you. Don't let your peers rob you. Stay on task. There are multiple ways to do this one. And one of the easiest ways is ignore everything on the right. Because the right half of my circle is how much? Half. Which means the left part of my circle is how much? So if instead of starting with 1, I want to start with just looking at the left side, I could just say, okay, this whole thing is 1/2 on the left. Then I got to take away all that. Right? So 1/3 and 1/8. You all said common denominator is going to be 24. So times 8s and times 3s. I'm going to grab just this section. That becomes 8 24ths and 3 24ths. You with me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You got this written down?
Yeah. Wait, no.
Come on, man.
But I already figured it out.
11 24ths, right, is this region. All of that, both slices. How many 24ths are in a half? Anybody? 12. Right, this is 12 24ths. We then take away the 11 24ths. And we get 1 24th for our mystery region.
That's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Like,
It's pretty small. Like, so, yeah, if we made all of these equal size slices, we'd have 24 slices around this thing.
Yeah, it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.
Questions on that? Hey,
Will it be on our test?
yes. Yeah.
oh, this one.
So, I already had announced, actually, there is one missed,
Sorry.
finish the spinner. It's okay. Alright,
1 next 45.
And then do we do one?
we're done.
Yay!
I don't, well, like, so learning logs, a lot of times we do those just kind of through conversation. I feel like we're doing pretty good with this stuff so far. Make sure you're comfortable with this, Mr. Pearson. There are equivalent fraction problems on the test. One of the, actually, I'll just show you guys the test right now. So please start your homework. I'll show you the test here in just a moment. No, this is your homework. All right, the only way I'm going to do this is if nobody talks while I'm talking. The only way I'm going to do this is if so if I get interrupted, if people start talking, I'm just done. Okay, we're done looking at the test. You guys can just do your homework. Because I'm real tired of competing, and this is something that you probably wouldn't necessarily get depending on your class. But with the whole mastery mindset, if I want you to be able to show what you know, why would I keep it a secret? Like what I'm going to ask you to show me what you know. Equivalent fractions. You start with a fraction of 3/4. You need to make one fraction with a numerator of 24, one with a denominator of 24. Equivalent fractions. You start with 3/5. Find everything that's equal to 3/5. Equivalent fractions. Add these fractions up first, making common denominators. Equivalent fractions. A cable man starts with that much cable. He uses that much in his installation. How much does he have left? Equivalent fractions. Fill in the mystery spinner. We move on from equivalent fractions now. And the test is laid out a little differently. I fixed the spacing from your homework, right? How big is the missing region of the number line? So first you need to figure out how much each section of the number line is, and then figure out the mystery region. Proportional relationships.
Hey, Dad.
If a copy machine can make 40 copies in 5 minutes, what about in 30 minutes? Probability, gumball machine, right? Here's your or probability. What's the probability of white or green? Probability on the spinner, which is more likely, landing on a number greater than 4 or landing on an even number? Then what's the percent chance of getting a 7 or an 8? And probability, if we have 36 total marbles, your probability of blue is 4/9. How many blue marbles are in the bag? And then no perimeter, just area. And that's it. That's your test. Okay. Do your homework.
Yay. How much time do we have left?
You still have 8 minutes. Yeah. So there's really no excuse for people not having homework done this track.